Welcome to Marks and Parks with Brennan. Today we're exploring the Grand Tetons.
If I had 1,000 tongues, I would sing with everyone. Voices like a mountain song. Sing, you are my only one.
We left Cody, Wyoming and drove through Yellowstone for our next stop, the Grand Teton National Park, which, by the way, is also in Wyoming. The Grand Teton was named by French trappers who came to the area to collect beaver fur. It was highly valuable in the 1800s because it made high-quality felt used mainly for top hats. The Teton mountain range is located on a fault. The fault causes earthquakes that push the Teton mountains up and Jackson Hole down. It makes it easy to see the beautiful Teton mountain range when you can drive around in the valley. We also had a view of airplanes coming into land. That was so cool! Do you know that the Grand Teton National Park is the only national park to have a commercial airport? Well, that's because the airport was there first, before the Tetons became a national park.
Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood that life can be this good.
On our way to the campground, we followed a tip from an app we've been using called Gypsy Guide. It suggested that we stop at Lakes Marina on Jackson Lake for a lunch with a view. We decided to stop for some pizza, and boy were we glad we did. The view of Jackson Lake with the Grand Teton mountain range behind it was spectacular. We wanted to stay a while, but we still had to get to the campground to get everything set up. However, this quick stop really got us excited about exploring the area over the next few days.
Life is wonderful. Oh, life is wonderful. Never understood how life can be this good.
If you remember from my last video, I've set a goal to become a junior ranger at every national park we visit. That meant we needed to stop by the visitor center to get my junior ranger book, so I would know what would be required in this park.
Life can be this good. If I had 1,000 tongues, I would sing with everyone.
One of the typical junior ranger requirements is to hike somewhere in the park. We chose the hike to Hidden Falls at Jenny Lake. We took the shuttle boat across the lake and discovered that this is a very popular hike. It was a crowded trail, but it was still one of my favorite parts of our visit. And it wasn't nearly as difficult as the hike we took in the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone.
Never understood that life can be this good. I would launch 1,000 ships just to be about your lips, tell them all to sail away, just to see you every day. Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood that life can be this good. If I lived
place I enjoyed visiting was the area where the Chapel of Transfiguration and Meaner's Ferry are located. The chapel was constructed in 1925 and still has services today.
Oh, life is wonderful. Oh, life is wonderful.
Meaner's Cable Ferry was used to cross Snake River back in the late 1800s. Snake River is a great place for rafting. We saw rafters all throughout our visit. It looked like fun, but it wasn't in our plans. After seeing the ferry, we walked over to Meaner's General Store, which was actually open for business. They even let you go to his living quarters in the back of the store. I think it would get really cold in there. I don't think I would have liked living in that time. They had to walk outside their house to go to the bathroom. It was neat to see the setting of a time even before my parents were born.
I would sing with everyone. Voices like a mountain.
Anyway, the general store had some samples of huckleberry jam to try. I wasn't sure if I would like it, but I did. My mom and dad liked it too. We had never tasted huckleberry, and I was curious about why. I asked where they grow and discovered that they are only found at higher elevations. That's why I didn't know about them. At the general store, they suggested that we try some huckleberry ice cream since we liked the flavor so much. He told us about the best ice cream place in Jackson, Moo's Gourmet Ice Cream. My parents couldn't get enough of that huckleberry ice cream. We went to Moo's 3 times while we were there.
Be about your lips. Tell them all to sail away. Just to see you every day. Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood.
Our next day in Grand Teton started with a hike at Schwabacher Landing. This hike was one of my parents' favorite parts of our trip. It was a pretty place and all, but they just couldn't get enough of it. They kept walking and walking. I was ready to go. They just kept walking. The good news is, we spotted the moose just across the creek. We stood and watched it for a while, but it just wouldn't stand up. The ranger told me that they like to lay around in the shade whenever it's hot out. When I finally got my parents to leave, we drove around to the dam. It was amazing to see the water rushing out. The lake reservoir was so much higher than the release side.
Never understood. Our life can be this good. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood. Never understood. Life can be this good.
We also drove to the summit of Signal Mountain. That was a great sight, but my mom certainly didn't enjoy the drive up. She thinks they need wider roads. Once we were up there, Dad, he just didn't want to come back down. I can understand why though. It was so beautiful.
Life is wonderful. Never understood, but life can be this good. I would launch 1,000 ships.
After our days of exploring the Grand Teton, we returned to the visitor center for the Junior Ranger program. I noticed that we had not seen any type of snakes on our hikes, so I asked the ranger if they had snakes in the area. He said they really only had types of garter and constrictor snakes, but we didn't see either of those. He asked me some questions about my adventures. Then, I took the pledge to be a Junior Ranger. This time, I received a badge. At Yellowstone, I received a patch. I wonder what our next park will have.